are back. The time is now.
NUFC Undisputed
with Chris the American Man and Derek the Mighty Win.
NUFC Talk.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to NUFC Talk, 10:30 in the morning in the UK. We are live here, and the whole week will be live at this time. People wanted their midday show, so we're gonna bring it to them. Welcome, Mighty Wayne. We got Mighty Wayne to get off of the bed, man. This is criminal, man. He barely.
It is criminal. Tell me about it.
And you go to bed early, man, and you're crying about waking up. This is insane, ladies and gentlemen. But we are here nonetheless. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining.
They have sleep patterns, and they shouldn't be interrupted.
Oh my gosh, man. Live a little, man. Stop sleeping your life away. Live a little. But anyways, folks, we are live. Don't forget to smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. All of you that are coming from the breakfast show, welcome. That was a great show, by the way. Sam and Corey going at it, of course. And we're back and we're live, ladies and gents. So, how's it going there, mate? All good? Happy that England won
yesterday? Say again, sorry?
Are you happy that England won yesterday, or are you just some of
Obviously,
you?
yeah, very good. 100%. Well, 99. What was it? 7 wins in a draw. Clean sheets, 8 clean sheets in the trot. It's now something like. I mean, Pickford was already on his own. Which is, I think, why Henderson got the gig yesterday. He did well as well, by the way. But if Pickford had been in goal, the clean sheet record is insane. But how's it going to be anything else when you got Big Dan there?
Well, but hey, Big Dan is a topic of discussion in England right now, and I don't know if you will like it. But we shall get into that. We got a lot of topics to discuss. England beaten yesterday on their last final game of the World Cup qualifiers. Albania beating them away in Albania. That was a 2-0 win for the Three Lions. And, of course, been qualified already. I think for a few games already they've been qualified. So that's good. And just to reiterate as well that we had a derby. And the women beat the Mackhams on the derby. The men's derby is coming up soon as well. So derby's coming up soon. I think it's next week, isn't it? The men's derby.
14th. No, December the 14th.
Oh, December. That's right. I'm losing my mind here. It's a little early, ladies and gents, in America. 4:33 in America, but it is coming up anyway. The men's derby. The women did beat the Mackhams over the weekend, and. There you go. When you didn't want to go to that one, man, you weren't bothered. That's fine. We're not.
Nope.
Short
Not
answers.
interested. Not interested.
Short answers. But 3-1, we beat them. We like. I like to replicate that score sheet in December when the band play the Mackhams over there at the Stadium of Light. So hopefully that's the case. Although I don't know. The way things are going right now. I wouldn't put my finger. I wouldn't bet on it, to say the least. So a few things.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Well, that's fine. If we can go about faith, that's fine. But the reality is different. We can talk about Dan Burns' performance for England, putting pressure on his NUFC positional role, according to Jordy Bootboys. However, there is some national media that's suggesting that Dan Burn isn't good enough on the ball to start for England. That's according to the Telegraph, Goal, the Daily Express, Standard Sport, starting to face some criticism already. Some criticism that we already know about. We're gonna get to that, Mighty Wayne. No worries, mate. so you can defend. So prepare your defense for when that comes. Sandro Tonali potentially returning to AC Milan, says Yahoo Sports. Maybe we can touch on that. And Craig Hope came up with an article, I think Friday, I think it was Thursday, before the Voltamara masterclass, and proving people like me right. They said that he might be the issue, or there's a conundrum, or there's because we have to play him, although he's not a proper center forward, much less. Kind of saying the same thing you've been saying. We're gonna get to that, but that was before the game, and basically, Baltimore proved people like me right and people like you wrong. That you just got to give him plain and simple. Plain and simple. There's rumors that James Trafford might be leaving Manchester City. It looks inevitable. Whether Newcastle United will be involved, we can talk about that. Newcastle United also monitoring Everton midfielder James Garner ahead of the transfer window, according to some papers. And I guess we'll talk about PSR. PSR has come out. By the way, we got to listen to Amanda Stavely as they spoke and defended Alexander Isak and defended PSR. So Mighty Wins desire for Amanda Stavely and Godusi to get a statue at South St. James's Park might have to be put on hold. So
well, I might have to see what she's got to say.
But before that, let's stay on England a bit, because I want to know the people's opinion. Thomas Tuchel not happy with Jude Bellingham having has something to say about leaving the game early yesterday, being subbed out. He said, I saw that Jude Bellingham was not happy when he came off. I don't want to make more out of it, but I stick to my words. Behavior is key, and respect towards the teammates who come in. Decisions are made, and you have to accept it as a player. I like what Tuchel said. And he also mentioned that Elliott and Declan Rice are ahead. He said that those guys are England's first choice midfield pairing at the moment, so not to worry about yesterday. But there's always been ongoing issues with Jude Bellingham's attitude in England. He actually has said...
not England, I don't think. Tuchel, certainly.
Well, Tuchel, what did I say?
England.
Well, I'm saying...
No, but I don't think Bellingham's got any problem with England. I think he's got a problem with Tuchel.
Oh, well, but he's gotta accept that he is the England manager. So, I mean, yeah.
Well,
and that's not going to change before the World Cup. So, when you think that you'd be smart and not poke the bear, because listen, he's got every say so, and it looks like Tuchel is not bothered. Tuchel, we're going to get into the Tuchel has said, I think before the game, Mighty Win, on Sky Sports, for example, they're reporting this. Thomas Tuchel says Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, and Harry Kane cannot all play together in England's current system, and warn he will not dodge tough decisions for the World Cup. When a manager says that, and then the next game you show attitude, I wouldn't be showing attitude. And we've seen that Jude Bellingham hasn't been called up in a few games. They say because of injury, but you know.
Well, all I would say to anybody is, would any team be better with Bellingham in or without him in? And that's like asking, would Newcastle be better with Tonali in or without Tonali in? Because Bellingham is pure quality.
I understand that, but you also got to respect. You can't just be funny.
So you can understand a player of his caliber having ego, and that ego might get in his way if you've got a coach who's got an equal ego. Someone's got to give. But the bottom line is the coach wins every time. Now, if that means that Bellingham is prepared to cut his nose off to spite his face, didn't look like it yesterday. He played great.
Well, when he came out, he showed attitude. and
Yeah, when he came off.
he was visibly upset, and I don't think Tuchel believes what you necessarily believe, that he is
Well, obviously not.
a must have player, because if he puts him in a boat, my best player would never be in the conversation that they can't play together. So I have to make a decision. Your best player would just play. I mean, plain and simple. Phil Foden and Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham, he puts all together. I mean, Kane's going to have to play. A striker's going to have to play. He's,
Well, and then again, he was quality yesterday. Total quality. Why we didn't just go and bust the bank for him?
well, because probably he wasn't going
Because
to
we
come
could
over.
have done it. It's all on wage. It's all payable later on. £500,000 a week, fair enough. But you're getting them for 60 mil.
Maybe he
Put
wasn't going
that
to.
package together, he's costing you 85 million, and you're guaranteed goals.
Yeah, you guarantee goals now with Waldemar. So all you got to just give him the ball.
Yeah, I'm saying we would have still needed another striker.
No, Waldemar is not playing on the bench, man. Stop lying. But you probably would have had that case if you would have signed them both, and nobody would be talking about Waldemar, of course. If you got a Harry Kane, you got no argument there. But the fact of the matter is, it's interesting that this is going on in England, because it takes you back. It feels like England can never have a good time, because then you go back to the times where Lampard and Gerrard and all of them, because they couldn't play, according to everybody, they couldn't play together, which I think is absolutely trash.
I didn't agree with that at the time either.
I think players can play together. You just got to have
But
somebody.
just didn't have a decent manager then.
And
throughout that whole period, the managers that we had in were just rubbish.
And so it looks like something of the sort might be brewing behind the scenes. It is kind of weird anyway, but it's just it makes no sense what's going on. I mean, you think Jude Bellingham is a key player for Real Madrid? You think he'll be a no negotiation
Automatic.
But Tuchel is not impressed, and he certainly, Bellingham is not making a case for himself if he is just throwing tantrums every time he comes off the pitch.
True.
I mean, he's doing that. But anyways, a question in the chat: what part of America are you from, Chris? Missouri, mate. That's where I'm from. Propa State, if there is one. So there you go. Kevin Bell says, not with a bad attitude. We've all said many times we don't want certain players at Newcastle because of their attitude, Rashford, etc. Well, listen, I don't buy that. I don't buy that anyway. I think that players have attitudes and some don't. Bruno, we love him because he's on our side. Joe Linton, we love him because he's on our side. But I mean, I guess they don't have that attitude, I guess, to be disruptive.
And Bruno pulling trees up for Brazil as well, by the way. What a performance that was. Did you watch that?
No. I think we should have done a watch along with that, man.
Would have been more enjoyable than the England one. Even though it won, but it was a foregone conclusion, that.
So, yeah, but I think Rashford would have been great. Rashford went to Barcelona. He has no attitude problems there. You see, it's just players dealing with certain things, and the attitude at Man United would, it got toxic. So I don't think that correlates to the club that they're going to all the time. It's just
no, because he did it at Villa as well to a degree, didn't he? When he went to Villa on loan, he did okay, did very well.
He did good. They just didn't have the money to pay him. And of course, when Barcelona comes, it is what it is. So again, attitude is just in my opinion, a momentary thing. I agree with Winston Tony, as Trapperoni once said, the best players don't always make the best teams.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's the case at Newcastle at the minute, I think, to a degree.
What are you on about?
Well, everybody's saying that Bruno, Tonali and J7 best midfield in the. I think that's been debunked by now. By the way,
No, it's debunked by how everybody's playing. But at the end of the day, Tonali and Bruno are our best midfielders, and Joe Linton can be questioned. I don't think Joe Linton's ever been non-negotiable when it comes to taking him out, taking him in. Maybe when there was nobody else to come in.
yeah, that's true.
I can't say he's been.
But we Ramsey all day for me at the minute. The way just to get the best out of Altamora.
True. I think that again, we have a whole week now with the match coming up against Man City to talk about all of this stuff.
And this will give it'll could answer a problem and could create a problem, because if we find that we've got a full week's training now, so this is Eddie on the pitch with that whole squad for a week. And if we come out and blast Man City out the water, the argument will be made by the likes of myself. That's it. All Eddie needs is time on the pitch. The problem is that when you're in Europe, you don't have 5 days every week between games to tweak things and do things and try things. So is Eddie incapable of managing a team in Europe because he's not having that time on the training pitch that he needs? So it'll be worrying to me if we could accept that. Of course, from the season starting, he's never had it. He's never had the players all together for a week.
But yeah, but when people like me, critical thinkers, and against delusional fans like yourself, when we said we need our signings before quickly and in a hurry, and you kept telling everybody just to wait and wait and wait, it's going to happen, why did you try to debunk my theory that you need time in the preseason to get acclimated and all that? Why did you say just wait, be patient, it's going to happen? Nibada and all those type of generic default comments.
Because all of the time that was happening, we were actually trying to get players. They were just turning us down and going to bigger clubs. And I would rather wait, as we did with Voltemada, and get the right one, as opposed to just buying anybody, which was the cry. Just get somebody in. No. If you can't get who you want, just wait.
Yeah, well, I mean, we certainly didn't do a good job. We should have gotten our signings beforehand. And if you think about it, Voltemada could have been could have gotten him in as a. That's why I don't think Voltemada is a replacement striker.
Yeah, but we couldn't get Voltemada in because at the time Bayern Munich was still in for him.
Well, we didn't go for him. So you don't know. You don't know what was going to happen. But at least you could have gotten all of that. We got Voltemada in the win, man. Almost when the window was closed.
2 days to go.
I mean, that stuff that cannot happen. But before we move on to
that was when Munich pulled out.
All right, but before
as you said numerous times yourself, he's not going to sign for us if he can sign for Bayern Munich.
Well, true, but you still got to be there,
especially a German.
You still got to be there, though.
Well, we were there. That's why we got him at the finish.
2 windows before the window closed. Come on, man. You cannot try to defend that. Anyway, but before we do that, we got to go to Dan Burn, because Dan Burn is catching some attention now with England, and of course, English media are ruthless, and so prepare your defense. They are suggesting now that Burn isn't good enough to be on the ball to start for England. When it came to player ratings, many leading publications said Burn was 5 out of 10, while his defending wasn't alarming. wasn't alarming. Goodness. They all seem to suggest his ability on the ball was a slight issue. The Standard Sport says they handed Byrne 5 out of 10 and wrote slightly difficult night for the Newcastle man, whose first touch was not always as good as it needed to be. Good in the air, though. That's that comment. The Daily Express says also rated him 5 out of 10. Writing had plenty of work to do at the back, and he won his 5th cap with Albania, causing the Three Lions plenty of problems, but almost cost his side a goal after giving the ball away with a sloppy pass just after halftime. Goal agrees 5 out of 10. Says struggled at times, particularly when Albania made a good start to the second half. A display which underlined why he is a squad player more than a starter. The Daily Telegraph, Luke Edwards couldn't do anything about it, where another outlet who gave him a 5 out of 10, gave the ball away for the Haxa chance in the second half after previously looking okay on the ball. His defending is fine, but passing could lead to trouble. So when all these media outlets, English media is ruthless. We already know that. When subjects like England, because those subjects go above and beyond the regular, Newcastle.
Yeah, when England do well, they're always looking for someone to criticize them for.
And when they do bad, you better believe it's going to be 20 times magnified. So is
disaster jockeys.
What do you make this? Do you think that this is comparable to how the media hated David Beckham at times? Are you going to compare him to David Beckham now?
Not at all. I'm saying the media are, to a large degree, writing what they're saying. They've just said that he's a squad player, and he probably is. Would he get in front of Conser and Gay? Probably not. Not even in my team. And that's fair enough. That's what he is. But he'll not let you down when he comes in.
He's a 5 out of 10 player, and that's who you.
No, I don't necessarily agree with a 5 out of 10, but it depends. You're basing it on a game against Albania. Not exactly giants, but they could well be at the World Cup still, and they played a lot better than I expected them to.
Come on, man. But I don't think that you're helping your cause here when you say to play against a team like Albania. If you play like against Spain or something, then I might tell you, well, everybody struggles against Spain. But Albania, come on, man. You can't use that Albania.
Well, that's the point. That's exactly the point I'm making.
You cannot.
He was put in to face Albania. He wasn't put in to face Germany in the semi-finals.
So he should be playing better, right, against a weaker team.
But Corey's in. I agree with that. By the way, one poor pass. Byrne was fantastic. I thought he had a good game. I don't know where they're getting the 5 out of 10s. I never pay much rating out of these scores.
You thought he had a fantastic game?
I didn't think he was fantastic. No, that's Corey saying he thought he was fantastic.
Wayne doesn't want to argue today. It's too early for him.
What do you want us to say? Is Dan Byrne England's best centre half? No, he's not.
So the thing is, you got to read between the lines here. I don't think you're good at that. I'm gonna do it for you. They're more than likely saying that he shouldn't even be there, or just should be a squad player that comes in every 20 games or something. When the other 5 center backs are hurt, he should be coming in. So
I would think that probably you could argue because of his experience, Stones could possibly be in front of him.
Possibly. Oh wait a minute.
But he's getting on as well. Yeah, I mean he's up there. He's in the top half dozen centre halves in the country. Am I saying he should play every game? I would love him to play every game, but I don't necessarily think he warrants playing every game. So it's a question of, when he gets the chance, do a job, and that's exactly what he's been doing. That's why he's got his 5th cap.
Well, listen, it's not. It is what it is, but it's something to think about. 2 corner phrases. Dan Byrne is a competent center half. Simple. It's like the press when 11 Messi's on the team. Horses for courses, says Two going to phrase. There you go. Kevin Bell says that Byrne was all right, but he should be at least all right against Albania. That's what I'm saying. When it's going to use that as a Albania, you know.
I'm doing exactly the opposite. I'm saying Albania. You would expect anybody to have a comfortable game against Albania.
But the problem is that most folks think he didn't have a competent game against Albania.
Well, I think he did have a comfortable, competent game.
All right. Well,
and the fact that they don't, that's their problem, not mine.
So if, but that's your thing, you know. If 90% of the world say one thing and you say the opposite, you still think you're right, which is insane. But either way, thank you, Connor, for sending us news throughout the weekend. We look like Ben Jacobs, sorry, is saying now that Manchester City are pushing to sign Newcastle United's right back Tino Livramento next summer. Man United are also admirers of the England international, but have not yet advanced their interest. So what should we be doing now when it comes to these players and their other teams being interested? I mean, there's nothing you can do about
it. We should be tying them down.
But really, that's all we can do.
But again, the bottom line, as I said with the Rat from the start, if anybody who doesn't want to play for the Toon, get them out. Dead simple. But make as much money as we can from them, which will entail, trying to get them to sign a new contract, because that'll up their price. But I think Tino is contracted till 29 at the minute, I think. So no rush for that one. As Paul Mitch, I would say there is a rush. I think he should be on more than whatever he's on, 60k a week. But yeah, if they don't want to play for us, get them out the door.
Yeah, but why do you have that attitude? A Man City come for him, and all of a sudden you feel offended that you're like.
I don't feel offended.
No, but that's kind of your attitude. You give if he doesn't want to be here, he can leave. Instead of just saying, listen, he's one of our good players. We got to do everything possible for him to stay. We got to talk to him.
I agree with that as well.
We got to give him a good contract. We got to do. Why do you have to always go for the jugular and say, if they don't want to be here, Toon Army? Relax, man. Relax.
I'm saying exactly what you've just said. We should do everything in our power.
Well, no, you didn't actually. No, you didn't. Your first thing was to say.
But if he's had his head turned and he wants to go to Man City, you cannot. Excuse me. You can't blame him exactly the same way. You cannot blame Isaac for wanting to go to a bigger club.
No,
but bye-bye.
But what again? There you go. See, bye-bye. Like what? Why do you have an attitude when it comes to this stuff, man? Your first response is never to be about nice about it and just say, I'm not worried. We're gonna talk to him. We gotta offer him a new contract. We gotta do our part. We gotta do it. None of that. You just bye. Just you have an attitude towards the player when he hasn't even said anything.
I've got no attitude towards the player at all.
And as a matter of fact, when the Isak situation was ongoing, you were very, very, very up until the last probably 2 to 3 weeks. Then you turn on him, but you were always defending them. You were always saying that, well, you can't blame him. We know blah 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 blah.
Exactly.
But when he was already acting in a very
and then he started throwing his toys out the pram.
Well, even then you kept saying, well, we don't know if it's true. We don't know.
What I said then is the same as I say now, same as I'm saying about Tino. You cannot blame any player for wanting to go to a bigger club, a bigger, more successful club, and get paid more money. That's what their life is about. They're professional footballers. But I only want players at Newcastle United who want to play for Newcastle United, who are happy playing for Newcastle United and haven't got something else in the back of their mind all the time. If I play well here, I can get a move, although that is a good argument for it.
Well, I mean,
Meaning that if they want to get the move, they have to play well. So that's good for us.
But how would you? Well, I mean, that stuff is not really.
I think we've probably got 5 players right now, I would say, who should be on the high hundreds into the 200s per week, and most of them are now. You know, Bruno's got his new contract. We're in the through. Whether Tonali will sign his new contract, we don't know, because as we found out, he's already contracted to another year, which takes him up to 28, is it?
All of that means nothing.
How do you mean it means nothing?
Tonali can have a contract until 2050, and that doesn't mean he's going to stay. So that means
No, but it means we get more money for him, so we can replace him with better players.
Yeah, you're not going to replace anybody better than Tonali. That's the thing. You're not going to find one.
No, I'm not saying better than him, but the more money you get for him, the better player, the better class of player you can buy.
The thing is, if Tonali leaves, you're not better off. You got money for it, but I don't mean anything. If you can't buy a player that's better than him, then you're knackered. Then you're going to buy 2 midfielders. You're going to buy Anderson. You said you would be happy with Anderson instead of Tonali. If Tonali leaves, you bring Anderson in, and all of a sudden that's great. I don't think so. I think we'd be with less quality. So what I would do is, the only thing that makes a difference is how much they get paid. So you gotta incentivize them with giving them more money than they are.
And then we're back into the same old chestnut, are we not? Which is, we haven't got the money that they've got.
All you got is one player you're talking about, Tonali. If we, Newcastle United, cannot pay our best player $250, I think if you give him to $250, Tonali will stay and he won't want to leave, because there's a massive improvement in the contract. Without anybody particularly right now roaming around officially, because once you get other teams, mainly outside, big teams, I don't think anybody in the Premier League really will move his boat, but maybe I'm wrong. I said the same thing about Issa. Actually, I said the same thing about Issa with Arsenal. I don't think he would have gone to Arsenal at all. But Liverpool did make a difference. But if you give him that kind of money, without anybody lurking around, he'll sign it probably and he'll stay. And ultimately, that's really all you can do. You can go out there and offer him as much money as you can, because he's the best player. You're not telling me it's not the same as Livermento, for example. If he says I want $250 or I'm leaving, then he can leave, because he's not worth $250. He's not. So, but Tonali, he's worth every bit of it and more, to be honest, at this point in age. But if the club can't do that, you can do the maximum you can. He's worth it. So everything adds up. But now if everybody's like, I want $250 now because Tonali's on $250, then they got something going on in their head.
But you just got to turn around and say, well, play like Tonali and we'll give you it.
Exactly. And even then, some positions are not as important. So
that's right.
It just isn't. And it is what it is. And then I agree with you. Then I would have the attitude that you have. If you want to leave, then leave. This is as simple as this. He's our best player. He is important, really important to the team, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. But I wouldn't start off like that. Like you say, if they want to leave, this is a Toon Army. Relax, man. It's not about that, man. Take that hooligan out of your system, man. Not everybody plays for the money around here. It's not really for the shirt, man. If you tell Bruno, we're gonna give you a 50% cut because we don't have money right now.
But here's the thing. It's all for the money. It's not for the shirt. You're saying. If you've got somebody who's playing for the money and playing for the shirt, then you've got that little bit extra
Yeah,
that you
well,
wouldn't have.
all of them
If he's really wanting to be playing somewhere else.
well, all of them play for the shirt though. Every time they come on, they play for the shirt. Unless you see something that's obvious. You cannot play good and not play for the shirt. It's impossible. If you hate it, think about it.
I'm talking about that little bit extra that you get out of the likes of Bruno, for example.
Nah, there ain't no little bit extra, man. That's something that you made up so you can feel good about yourself. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That extra 1%, Dan Burns extra 5% because he's a Jody is nonsensical. It doesn't exist.
With Dan Burn, it's an extra 20%.
I heard you and Gary the other day talking about that. That stuff doesn't exist, man. Get that out of your head. Because again, you got people like Bruno come in and he plays really good. He loves Newcastle. You got people like Tonali come in and he plays great. And you start thinking about, my God.
He just plays great because he plays great, though.
Who?
Tonali.
So he doesn't care about Newcastle?
Not particularly, I don't think.
You are such a oh man, you are unbelievable, man. You have this thing, this narrative that Joe Linton and Bruno and Dan Burn and Longstaff
I had this conversation with you and with a few others at the time about Tonali, saying, you hate Tonali. What proof you got that he wants to be away? Da-di-da-di-da. You've got no evidence to say that. And I said, I've never said that he did want to be away. Let's offer him the contract and see if he signs the contract. And then if he doesn't sign the contract, then it's a different conversation. And what happened was, we discovered then that he'd already...
Yeah, but I mean, I had
the extra year on his contract when he was banned, and that was his, and quite reasonable. That was his, if you like, thank you to the club for sticking with him. He says, "Go on, I'll give you another year, no extra money." But then when he's actually asked the question, and good on him for answering it honestly. He said, no, he says, football's, you don't know what's round the corner. So, I'm not going to turn around here and say I'm at Newcastle for 10 years when I know in my heart that might not be the case, and it very well might not be the case.
So basically, you don't want somebody that's honest. You want a liar. You want a deceiver. You want a scammer.
No, I'm saying I agree with Tonali for being honest.
No, but you don't, because then you use that against him to say that he's more or less a twat because he's not like Bruno waving his hands up and telling you that he'll stay in Newcastle for the next 50 years. So you want somebody that's a liar, that's a deceiver.
I don't think he is a Bruno. I don't think he is as committed as Bruno to Newcastle United. No, I think that's that's what I believe.
But Bruno isn't either. Bruno just says that. At the moment that Barcelona come for Bruno, he'll leave you faster in a hurry, faster than his statements.
So you say.
But he would. But he would win. Wake up, smell the coffee. It is 11:08 in the morning in the UK, ladies and gentlemen. This is Undisputed, the Undisputed Show. Mighty Win needs to wake up. Let's go.
NUFC Undisputed.
With Christy American Mad and Derek the Mighty Win.
NUFC Talk.
Smell the coffee, Mighty Win. Smell it, man. It's right in front of you.
Just smelling it, I'm drinking it. Cheers.
It's all good saying that Bruno's going to stay no matter what, because nobody's in for him. Nobody's in for him. So it's easy to do that. It's easy to feel comfortable and do that. Joe Linton can do the same. It's Burn can say, you know what, I want to stay here in Newcastle forever. Whoa. See, Burn said he's going to stay here forever. Burn, nobody's in for him. Where else they going to go?
Burns got about, if I look, you'll get another year out of him.
I mean, yeah, it's if Barcelona coming for him,
we are knocking.
I mean, straight up. But the good thing about that is, if you look at it
I think if Real Madrid came in for him, he might consider it. I don't think he'd go to Barcelona from Newcastle.
Yeah, although he grew
as long as we are still in You know,
Al-
Champions
al-
League and winning stuff.
although this is insane. That's what this guy, man. You gotta love him. You know, he doesn't do much research, but although he is a Barcelona fan growing up, he's a big Barcelona fan. And
Not I.
well, not you, but Bruno is. So what are you on about? It ain't about you leaving to Barcelona, man. It's about Bruno, and Bruno clearly is a Barcelona fan. More, very much in the Barcelona fan. That when we play Barcelona, well, you didn't understand because it was in Spanish, but they were asking him about that, and you know, he was very educated and very humble, and of course admitted that he's been a fan for a long time, but there was no approach before. So, but yeah, come on, man. If they come for him, you are knackered because you'll be losing your mind. You'll be sick if Bruno leaves. And my goodness, where's that extra? You lose
I
that
would
extra
say
5%.
exactly the same about Bruno as I say anybody. If you want to be here, get on your bike, son.
But that wasn't the first thing that came to your mind. You see, that wasn't the first thing that came to your mind. But when it comes to Livramento, when it comes to Tonali, you have the already built up animosity towards these players, and just say,
They don't no animosity at all.
all right. Your first thoughts weren't to say we should give Tonali the best contract in the team. We should persuade him. We should. You said if they want to be here, you can live. Exactly. So that wasn't your first comments when it comes to Bruno. That's the problem. That's the inconsistency there. But neither here nor there. Darren Lee says in the chat, Chris has too much life in him this morning for after 5 a.m. Still have sleep, and it's after 11 here. Look, I went to bed at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. So I've actually had my 8 hours of sleep. I calculated because I want to be happy. I calculated it. I needed my 8 hours of sleep, wake up at 4 in the morning to do the Undisputed show. So there you go. I timed it right.
You're going to bed at 8 o'clock at night and you're telling me to get a life.
Listen, I do a lot during the day, man. That's why I wake up early. Wake up early, see the birds chirping, enjoy life, see the outside. See, I'm not a vampire like you, man. I'm not. Anyway, so that is that as far as not Tonali, but Livramento, Man City being linked with Livramento again. Now we got some Man City fans come on the channel and say that Man City are not going to pay over 100 million for
the Man City fans were saying they wouldn't pay 80 for him.
So I mean, over 100 million, it's like a rule type of thing. Over 100 million for a right back, left back is not acceptable. But to be honest, they do have a point. And I think that Livramento also, see, that's why I do these narratives. He's been hurt a lot, ain't nobody talking about it. So we don't. He's probably, look at this. Go back and look at it. How many games since he came to Newcastle has he missed compared to Botman? And you might be surprised. I don't know it, but I'm just looking at what I've seen. And people say Botman is injury prone, and they don't say that about Tino. So something to think about. Something to think about, to say the least. Let's see, Patrick says, I'm just going to say, though, if any top club come in for any of our players, they will leave in a heartbeat. No doubt about it. There you go, Patrick. Very much indeed. More comments here. Graham Nichols says, teams like Barcelona are on a different level to us and always will be. Well, it's a difficult catch to train, but Man City, as far as heritage, Barcelona has more than Man City, but Man City can see eye to eye with Barcelona as far as now is concerned. And that's all we can hope to be. Kim, all players from Latin America want to play for Spanish or PURTG teams. Now you're not saying Portuguese teams, because that's not true. That's how they are oriented as language as well. Well, not necessarily, by the way. I mean, the thing is that two of the biggest sides in the world are in Spain. So, yeah, I mean, and also the fact that the greatest of all time have been Brazilian, more than likely, and the greatest of all time have for those teams, you can have that. But no, a lot of people grow up watching the Premier League and they want to play for the Premier League and all of that. But Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, AC Milan, those teams have people. Inter Milan. I mean, those are the greatest of the greatest, and everybody wants to play for them. As much as Mighty Win doesn't think so, is the truth. So there you go.
Well, here's your comparison between Botman and Livramento. Livramento in total, including the 10 this season that he's missed so far, is 23 games. Well, that includes one for England as well. So 22 games for the Toon. And that's since 23-24. In that same period of time, Botman has missed 54 games.
How many did you say for Tino?
Tino 21.
Yeah. So
since
half of those.
23-24.
So half of those, clearly not as much. I don't think Tino has had the same type of injury.
10 of them are this season. Prior to this season, it was 12 in the previous 2 seasons.
So, I was wrong there, but still, half of those, and you could say Botman was one really bad injury, so he had to miss all them games in that one particular injury. So, but something to think about. James Trafford also says that he's leaving Barcelona. Looks inevitable. Barcelona, Man City. Looks inevitable given his ambitions aren't going to be met at the Etihad, according to Manchester City Evening News. Eddie Howe is a long-term admirer, and we may be after a new goalkeeper in the summer, with Ramsdale's loan due to run out and Pope far from convincing. What are you thinking about that particular rumor? I don't know about Ramsdale's loan expiring. I heard that Ramsdale's loan would be.
No. But Ramsdale, we've got him. It cost us £4 million for the season. That's this season. But the only thing that was revealed a couple of weeks back was that his actual transfer fee, should we buy him, will be 16 million. Now, I think that's a no-brainer. Because, he's not old for a keeper. He's not as young as Trafford, obviously.
But then you got people like Trafford at City, rumored to leave. He's going. I mean, that's no doubt. He's going to leave because he's knackered over there. I mean, they pulled a great move there. They knackered him. They got him in because they didn't have a goalkeeper, and then once he starts cooking it up, do you want him though? I mean, I'm not a type of guy to just close the door on a player because he doesn't perform, but he had the pressure to perform as a number one for a few weeks, and he was knackered.
Well, he made 2 mistakes, didn't he?
But you see, a proper manager, cutthroat, right to the neck, in the jugular. I'm not having that. Boom. Quickly, they got the best.
Well, I like the fact he went and got Donnarumma.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying. But if Trafford performed, he probably wouldn't have done that. Actually, there was no rumors of Donnarumma. Donnarumma was linked to Man United, who I thought was I didn't want that to happen because I thought he would make their team very, very good. Obviously, with contrast with Onana, but Man City jumped in quickly and in a hurry. And they got the job done. And you could say that they got the money or pull to get in somebody like Donnarumma. But the point is that they still had that attitude to say we can't have that nonsense. And they chopped off the James Trafford momentum. I mean, he had every inclination of going to England. Now he's knackered, unless he leaves in the summer and makes a great comeback. I mean, sorry, in the winter, which could be possible. But do we? Because I think Ramsdale hasn't not gotten the opportunity he deserves.
Not at all, as far as I'm concerned.
So if we were to sign him in an easy deal, like you said, why would we need a James Trafford?
Well, I don't think we would, except as a number 2, and he doesn't want to be a number 2. And rightly, at the stage of his career, he'd be better off going somewhere where he's going to be guaranteed number 1.
Yeah, but what teams?
But that will be at a lesser club.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Aston Villa, he can't go to Aston Villa. You know, I'm talking about teams that can fight for Champions League or Europe. Um, where's he gonna go? He can't really go.
I don't know. It depends who rates him, innit? Out of the managers at the teams that he could go, does anybody rate him as highly as it would appear Eddie Howe does? So,
but the thing
as
is,
I say, goalkeeper for me is not a critical position where we want to be spending the limited pennies that we've got to spend. As I say, 16 million for Ramsdale, that would do for me. I think in Ramsdale and Pope, we've got two, good goalkeepers.
Darren Lee says, surely Ramsdale will start against City.
Hope so.
The same thing you and a lot were saying about Ramsdale coming in against the last game that we played, Brentford, was it?
Brentford, yeah.
And I said, I don't think so. I don't think Eddie Howe will do that. And sure enough, he didn't. I didn't see much criticism.
We said the same when we did the pre-match. We said that's what we would do, but we don't think Eddie will do it.
So
maybe he's now, there's some reset required, which I don't think anybody would deny.
We get into that. We get into the hoping business with Mighty Win and Eddie Howe. It's a toxic relationship, man. Maybe, hopefully, he'll learn, and that's about. It's insane. This man, we're Newcastle United University of coaches. But anyway,
so you would just get rid of him?
No, I wouldn't. But I would be very stern. I would be very stern. If I'm PIF right now, I would be coming down. And I would tell him, man, you gotta get this. Well, PIF is in, not PIF, but whoever's in charge, Ross and whoever Eddie Howe can listen to and says, listen, man, you got to get this sorted. You got to get this right, or else it's looking grim. I mean, you got to put the fear of God in him. You've got to.
Do you not think he knows that?
Well, it doesn't matter if he knows that. You got to do your part. I mean, to be honest, the CEO has said it publicly, and I don't think he said it in vain. He said it very clear, that success is measured on results and not words, more or less. I think that if you're a manager or any employee, really, if you're listening to your CEO say that, you could have. But at the end of the day, you need to come in there, and you need to have a word with him. No doubt about it. It's not about Eddie Howe doing it. It's about you being the boss, coming down, looking at him face to face, unlike what you want, which is the CEO to go hunting for new managers right now, talk to them, get them lined up, or the contract typed, almost missing the signature, or you might even want them to sign already the contract before he gets the sack.
No, I want them to know they're going to sign.
So that is insane. Steve says the problem is the happy clappers when it's too late. So maybe you guys react when it's too late. Yeah, it seems like it anyway. But let's talk about the big conundrum.
Happy clappers have more patience. It's very simple.
But too much patience is not a good thing. Not a good thing.
What's where we agree to differ?
No, because then you wait. What if you wait until the problem, then it's over? So that there's no fixing to the problem.
There's always fixing.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't. Sometimes things in life, sometimes they're already permanent, man. There's no going back. Like you trying to get your wife back, it's over and done and dusted. They wouldn't even.
We will see at the end of the season what we will see.
Well, to get your wife back, she's gonna say no, man. So just, she would be dead over making that mistake twice. But anyway, let's talk about the big conundrum that Craig Hope posted, and he got a lot of criticism for it. But and I disagree with what he had to say, because like you, he said, and like many other people on this channel, they said that then the conundrum would be Nick Voltemade because he's not a proper center forward, and he's a center forward that comes down too deep and He's not there to finish chances, and he's not there to finish the opportunities, the abundant opportunities that the team is creating for him. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a second. Gavin Fuller says keeper and a striker most important positions: one keep ball out and one puts the ball in. And again, he says the striker most important position. Gavin Fuller. Thank you for the super chat. But even Gavin Fuller is hinting, more or less, with his super chat, that the striker is the problem. So he's, it seems like, in the same thing, in the same boat as Craig Hope, is Mighty Win, and the other people that think that Walter Mata is just not a striker. It to me is unbelievable to think that way. When again, over the weekend, Walter Mata proved, critical thinkers like myself right, and said, you just got to give him the ball. Give him it. Give him the ball.
And that's the problem. Walter Mata's not the problem. The
So
wingers are the problem.
But we can't say that we need
Our wingers, all of our wingers, Murphy gets a kind of a bit of a pass out for the odd game here and there, but our wingers this season have been miserable.
They have been,
and that's what needs to improve. Elanga hasn't done anywhere near what we expected him to do.
No doubt about
Gordon's form is patchy, to say the least.
Oh, here we go. To say the least.
And then I done it. Barnes has come in and scored a wonder goal, but the rest of his game hasn't been great, especially when he's started. Great coming off the bench. We've always said he's good coming off the bench. But when he starts, he doesn't do it. Tim's his greatest admirer, but we've seen Tim's reaction when he has started. He's had to agree that he didn't have a good game.
Who?
Barnes.
When I've never heard Tim say any of that. Why are you defaming people? Why are you lying to people?
What, like you do?
No. Like you are doing right now. And you also say that Tim didn't say that Eddie Howe that when he clearly did last.
Tim would have Barnes in front of Gordon every week. Yeah. I think that's fair to say.
No, so would I.
But even he in the post mortem after a couple of games has said, yeah, Barnes didn't do it.
No. He's criticizing Gordon.
He said it on your shows. No. On Monday nights after games.
Well, we'll ask him when he gets on. By the way, the Toon Twins come back tomorrow at 6 p.m. and we'll be live from 6 p.m. all the way to 11 p.m. So stay tuned for that. Tonight, the early night show is going to be a separate show. Separate studio, separate show in its own 2-hour show. The early night news with Gary, Boki, and the Mighty Win, and then the late night show, of course, right after that. So shows back to back to back to back to back. But you also defamed and lied on Tim when he said clearly that he doesn't think Eddie Howe will learn by this point, and so he's looking into Iriola as his replacement. He's the one that said it. He's the one that's done, clear and evident. And you came on here, or you actually didn't come on here, but you were on the private chat lying, using his words against him and his words to favor your statements. Use on the chat said that he didn't say that when he clearly said he was done with with Eddie Howe, and he didn't just say blatantly to say sack the banker and all of this stuff. He doesn't need to say that, but he clearly he said it. He doesn't think that Eddie Howe. He's giving Eddie Howe all the time to learn, and he clearly hasn't done that. Therefore, he thinks Ariola would be a much better suitor, and I don't even think that, but that's exactly what he said. So why do you find the need to lie, defame, scam fans and use others' words against them? He won't say it.
Let me. When that came about,
well, we don't need to go through all of that.
I messaged Tim because the doctor was saying that even Tim had said Eddie out.
Well, he did.
And so no, he didn't. What all Tim said was,
we can go to the clip. I mean, it's simple.
Yeah, all Tim said was, if Eddie goes,
okay, we'll find the clip.
he would. I messaged him there and then at the time and said, Tim, did you or did you not say Eddie out and Areola in? And he said, no, I didn't. I said, if Eddie goes, Areola is my choice. And that was a message, personal message between me and Tim.
That's fine. He may have. We don't have proof of any of this, but he may have changed his mind. But he still said what he said. So I can only go what he said on the live show, and we'll get to the clip on the live show. And he may say, if he comes to tonight, whatever, he may say, "Listen, I was wrong. I'm a happy clapper now. I want to change my mind and go back to whatever." That's fine. But he said what he said on the live show, and that cannot be taken back. Or you can be, but he still said it. But the conundrum is simple. There is no conundrum with Baltimore, because if we say that we just need to feed him the ball, then the conversation of us getting a new striker shouldn't be there, because we already have one. The Isak replacement is there. Isak has been replaced. All we got to do is give him the ball. So I don't understand why.
That's the problem.
Well, that is the problem, but not Baltimore.
That's the problem, giving him the ball. I agree with you.
All right. So, but the problem is that we always talk about him as in he's dropping too deep. Nobody's there to finish the plays. Nobody's there to finish the big chance.
He did exactly the same for Germany.
Exactly. Because that's the way he plays. Because as a striker, that's his mojo. That's what he does. At the end of the day, he scores goals. So if your striker scores goals, it is what it is. And a matter of fact, Hansi Flick, he must enjoy the way he plays, because he has them on. He's the number 9, number 11, literally, but he's the main guy. At 23 years of age, there's nobody, and if they can do that, then we need to do just the same. We need to. And by the way, Germany wasn't lighting it up whatsoever.
Not at all.
against Luxembourg, but at the end of the day, those wingers did end up giving them the ball twice, and he scored twice. I love a striker, Chris. I meant the keeper is more important. Is important when said not. Oh, cheers, mate.
Well, what I said we don't want to be spending big bucks on a keeper, and Gavin's maybe there saying that yes, we should. But the bottom line is, it depends on who rates who as the keeper, as it were.
So, in my opinion, there's clearly no conundrum. Kirk Hope did put up the Nick Voltemade conundrum. That doesn't exist. We can't blame our best performing players of the season on a bad season and think that they're the problem. It's like saying, well, Tonali is not performing.
I agree with him.
You gotta look. You agree with me? You said okay. Cheers. You say it with him, but you should say I agree with you, man. But you'll never give me the credit I deserve anyway. It's all right. Don't worry, man. The chat does it for you, though. The chat does it for you. Which, by the way, when we're gonna have a show with you, what's the issue with you and local fans versus online fans? Because he likes to label fans. It's unfortunate.
No, you like the label fans.
No, not at all. I like to defend them. I like to defend fans' rights to have their freedom of speech. And
I'm simply making the point, which is a fact.
Yeah, and what's the
online? The Eddie out camp is way higher than it is amongst the people who go to the game every week.
Yeah, but
and as I say, I asked almost on a match day. I asked almost everybody I see. It's in some part of a conversation that I'll have with them, in which I'll even instigate, saying where just to get it clear in my own mind. Where do you stand, Eddie and Eddie? Most of them look at it as if I'm mad.
Right. So that's fine.
That's like dozens and dozens of people that I see walking to the match, in the match, half time on the concourse. I'll ask virtually everybody. I just say Eddie in, Eddie out.
Yeah, that's fine. Hold on. Gavin Fuller says another super chat there. Lower striker, Chris. I meant the keeper is more important. I wouldn't say that. I think did we get that twice already?
We did that one, yeah.
Oh, we did. Well, there you go. Thank you very much, Gavin. for another super chat there. But listen,
And so what Gavin's saying there is he wouldn't mind blowing a substantial
well, I don't think that
percentage of the budget on a keeper.
Well, but I mean, if I think Man City might take 30 for him. That's not a lot of money, man. For a decent goalkeeper like Trafford, I would probably do that. But again, don't deviate from the problem. Like, now you want to talk about something else instead of facing the music. So the thing is here, I agree with you. I agree. The people that you talk to say Eddie Howe should be in. They look at you as if you're crazy by asking that question. 100%. You say that, and from the videos that you send, I'm sure that you edit some out to.
No, I don't.
Fit your narrative, and you keep the ones that don't agree with you. You keep them out. You
Nonsense.
That's fine. That's fine. And listen, I'm with you. Perfect. People you talk to tell you Eddie Howe in. So, but why do you find the need to label fans? Why do you say online fans is you disregard their opinion? Is that if they are AI robots, as if they are Macams, as if they don't exist, you belittle their thoughts and opinions. Why do you have to say that? Why do you label them as they're online? They more or less they don't matter.
Because what I'm saying is that percentage-wise.
Yeah, but why would you bring it up? What's the reason why you bring it up?
What's the reason I bring it up? Just because nothing will happen. What the crowd or what supporters think is irrelevant.
Well, I know that.
Until it gets to the stadium.
Yeah, but that's still.
And once the stadium turns, that's when things happen.
No, the stadium.
That's the point I'm making.
First of all, there's already been turning, by the way, if you didn't realize, because at the last away match, they were already starting.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
So it's already turning. So no matter, you can right now go outside St. James's Park, they're still going to answer you the same way, because most fans are not bothered by none of that. They, listen, I wouldn't be. When I went to Newcastle and went to the game, it's easy to get lost in the high of the game, and you're not really bothered. I didn't even want to do shows, to be honest, because you're kind of enjoying the thing. You're doing your own thing. But when you start doing this and you're sitting down and you have to talk about games, and you have to talk about what's happened, then your perspective changes. So Boca says, rubbish, fans 50-50 on how at best for him to stay, says Boki. And, but and he is in Newcastle. He might not go to as much games as you, and you say that to belittle him. You do that. But he's still in Newcastle. I
don't say it to belittle him at all. I just say it to validate what I'm saying.
Of course. But he's still in Newcastle, so he still works with Newcastle fans, more or less. He goes, he's around Newcastle local people, so he's talking to Newcastle folks about it. The point is, you label no fan matter as far as opinions on when they're going to sack a manager or not. But
yeah, it does. That's the point. No, it absolutely does matter when it gets to the stadium.
Yeah, and it's already there anyway. But you're really gonna. It's something for fans in the stadium to turn blatantly and literally and as straightforward as saying sack him. Something
when the Gallagher end during a home game is singing "You Don't Know What You're Doing."
Yeah, we already know
that's white hanky time.
Yeah, but that's over. There's no solution for that. There's no solution for that. It's already it's already going way and beyond. There's no fixing that. So, but there's a lot wrong that had to go before that happens to fix the situation, or maybe to even sack the manager before he gets to that extreme. When Ashley was called to sell the club and everybody started giving up their tickets, and you thought about it, but you just you throw up a coin up in the air, and because you weren't really bothered about it, you threw up a coin 50-50. 50 I stay. I just stay with the ticket. When the vast majority left, all those proper local fans, because they gave their ticket away as well,
They were proper fans.
And they gave their ticket away. That's proper. It makes you
Yep.
proper. Interesting. But when that happened, that's it. That was like the last. That was this beyond reparation. But before that, there was a lot wrong with it to say he still should be selling the club. He still should be not getting sacked because he owns the club, but he should be getting away from the club. You know what I mean? It was a process before he got to the stadium. You don't have to wait until it's absolutely damaged to the point where the fans are singing against the manager. That's way too far. That's way too far. Because, by the way, I do believe that singing against a manager in the stadium affects the team overall. The team that you want to get points because you're in the relegation battle or you're in the Champions League battle, whatever it is. When fans start turning on the stadium, it affects the players. It affects the team overall. When they can't even count on you to support them, so you don't have to wait until it's that bad, man. You know what I'm saying? So either way, it doesn't make sense why you're still label fans. They're online fans. We're not bothered about them. You know, it's a bit.
Most polls I've seen on other channels are more like 65-35 Howe win, and when it's right, the stadium is behind him. The away fans are behind him. It's mainly online fans who haven't been to a game want him gone.
And not going to a game what about that? That makes you less of a fan because you don't go to a game. You see that mentality.
You haven't got the skin in the game.
What skin in the game? What are you talking about? Some people are just broke. Some people can't go. Some people live in another country.
Yeah.
Why do you have to label fans as if they are less because they can't go to a game and they don't have a skin in the game, so they're less of a fan? It makes absolutely no sense. No sense. I'm an international fan. I don't have a skin in the game because I don't go to the game. But I can be spending on the club in many other ways where I have skin in the game. So, you know, it's labeling, generalizing fans just because it's no good. It's not good at all.
No, all I'm saying is, for the 99th time, and hopefully final time.
No, because you keep doubling down and you keep showing the comments.
Online, the view of online fans does not represent the view of fans in the stadium. That it is only the fans in the stadium
not necessarily
who have got any influence on what will happen.
Not necessarily true. Not necessarily true. Now, in this day and age, back in the 50s, I would agree with you. In this day and age, no. Online has a lot of weight in players' minds, in the club in itself, because all they got to do is pull up their phone and see what's happening. And trust me, they feel that pressure. All they have to do, countless of times, you've seen players respond and lose their minds at online accounts and fans that are going against them, that are criticizing them, countless of times. Den Burn, the stadium hasn't.
Steely, I don't know who you're saying's got the most knowledge. Chris can't get tickets and have more knowledge than the likes of winning his 20 mates down the pub. Are you saying Chris has or you have, Steely?
She's talking about me, man. But you know, listen, I'm bantering you. That's why I'm laughing at that. But I don't even subscribe to it because I think all fans can have their say, and all fans are right and wrong at the same time. But you will never hear me say those online Wangas, man. They ain't got a clue. It's just Newcastle, proper team, proper fans in Newcastle, blah blah blah. Let's have a pint. Let's have a whatever pasty. Let's have a Greg's roll, and we're proper fans. No, that's all BS, man. That's all of that is BS. All fans have their are right to have their opinion. Yeah, I'm just saying, but we can't say that because the fans are not turning in the stadium. Trust me, you talk about online fans don't have a weight. You should have. You were gone that day because you were funning around. But if you were to listen to Dan Burns' press conference before the Bilbao game, he was knackered. He was angry. He wanted to respond at the criticism by the way he was responding to the questions of him playing left back and that. Nobody in the stadium said, Dan Burn, you suck as a left back. Why would Dan Burn come out with anger, more or less, with straightforward answers.
I think in that interview you're talking about, Dan Burns' anger was with himself and his teammates, saying we've got to earn our bread. He said we've got to earn our bread and butter in the league games.
Yeah, when he was asked,
that was nothing to do with fans.
Oh, it wasn't. But when he was asked about what do you make of the criticism by some when you play left back as opposed to right back, and he came out angrily, very straightforward, says, "I don't care what anybody thinks. I only care about my fan and teammates and whatever." He responded very, 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 not angry, but you can tell he was bothered. And you can tell the criticism was getting to him, and he wasn't liking it. He also did go, of course, as you said, against his own teammates and himself. He put himself in that predicament. But
he did.
But online criticism gets to fans as well. This notion that I may live in London, but I don't have the money. I don't have the money to go to Newcastle games, or I don't even have the opportunity to, because I got to be a paying member. I got to be either a season ticket holder, in to get a ticket in. Why does that make me less of a fan because I don't have the opportunity to go? Oh, I don't have skin in the game, like Mighty wins. You see, he tries to play like it matters, like all fans matter, but then again, he throws in that he can't help it, because they don't have skin in the game. That's all rubbish, man. All the rubbish. When I go to Newcastle next, if I go, I may not even get in the stadium because I got to go with my wife. I'm not going to leave my wife out. Meanwhile, I go to the game and she's outside sitting next to Jackie Milburn, keeping warm. I can't do that. I might not even get to the stadium. Does that make me a less of a fan? What are you on about, man? It's criminal going to watch a football game in England. It's criminal, man, because it's nothing but season ticket holders. It's criminal. You can't. You can't. And listen, a lot of those season ticket holders will do you a favor. We'll give you their ticket up. We'll do all that. And so a lot of them would do that. They're not going to do it against PSV Champions League, though. So there's many reasons why fans don't go to games, man. I'm just saying, Win. You want to show that one too? Shembrock says, I totally agree with Chris. I've never been to a match, yet I've supported Newcastle for 30 years. They're thick and thin. Plus, in the city, by Man United, Liverpool, and rival fans, not Geordies. Exactly. It's a lot harder to support Newcastle not being in Newcastle, by the way. Just letting you know that. But anyway, Wayne,
should never be hard to support Newcastle.
Oh, it's been extremely hard. Trust me, extremely hard. It's easy for you because you're there. You got no choice.
It's never hard for me to support Newcastle through the darkest days.
Yeah, right. You almost give up your season ticket away, man. So stop lying.
I did give me season ticket away.
Well, you did in the first time because you were, so that makes you didn't have skin in the game. That makes you an improper fan. And then you came back with the cheap Ashley tickets. I
didn't come back with a cheap Ashley ticket at all. I came back with my own ticket.
So the 10-year, what is it? A 10-year hold or something like that? 10-year freeze or whatever. The price was the same. That's criminal, man. And it's like now interest rates in a house to buy a house is so criminally high, and the prices on houses are so high. And back in the 90s and back in those ages, the houses were so cheap. And there's a meme going around, a picture of a tiny baby in the 90s. It says, me wasting time, laying in my bed, keeping my body temperature instead of buying a house at age 6 months, because nowadays trying to buy a house is almost impossible of the amount of money that they cost, interest and everything else. And the meme correlates to this particular topic of Newcastle. Trying to get to a Newcastle game now is it's criminal, man. Criminal. But anyway,
that's a whole other conversation, that one.
Well, exactly. Gavin Fuller says, Chris, if you went to a game from the U.S., you will spend more than a season ticket. So if you go to one game, you have more skin in the game. Listen, but I don't speak like that, though. I don't speak like that. But when somebody like Wayne comes at me for that, then I do bring out all the weapons and artillery to annihilate.
What do you mean comes at you for that?
Because you say...
I'm simply making the point that online, the percentage of Eddie out voters would appear, and again, you don't know who's behind all the things online, but it would appear to be more vehemently Eddie out than
That's
anything that's happening around the town.
No. I wouldn't say that all around the town. But yeah, I mean, so that there's nothing wrong with that. But then you bring in the more skin in the game, and you know they don't matter, and what they do don't mean anything, and all of that stuff. But by the way, the same online polls of this channel in particular that you criticize so much, and I'll take the last 2 times out. Every single poll that we've ever done has
Take the last 2 times out. When you're doing polls, which are the most important?
no. Listen, but
The most recent ones.
no, but listen to this. Even after the West Ham game, we did a poll. That's the thing. Look at it this way: every poll until then, until the West Ham bad performance, every poll until then, as much as people cried about it, as much as people whinge, as much as people criticize, Eddie Howe has always won every single poll on this channel that you criticize, and some say is Negative Talk FC. On this channel, and that you say the online fans don't matter, where those online fans have been clicking, have been pressing the button, and every single one of them until the West Ham game said Eddie Howe in. Those fans that you're talking about. Until the last game against Brentford, where they seemed like everybody lost their mind anyway, and then they turned. And I wasn't even going to do that poll, but you guys told me to do it, and we did it. And we saw that it was the Brentford game that turned everything as far as that poll is concerned. But every one of them, Eddie Howe won. As much as people went and whinge about it and wanted him sacked and all of this, every one of them he won. So they prove you wrong. The online fans are a bunch of bankers that go to the bank and bank on bank holiday. So
Well, you can't go to the bank on a bank holiday.
you can to be a banker and bank.
No, you can't. That's why it's a bank holiday, because the banks are shut.
While nobody's there, you can bank. You can be a little banker.
They're specifically called bank holidays in the UK because they're not public holidays in America. Bank holidays because the banks are shut.
And but there you go. By the way, another rumor going on now is that Newcastle United are monitoring Everton midfielder James Garner ahead of the January transfer window, the winter one coming up soon. The 24-year-old has been in excellent form this season, with Moyes even tipping him for a place in Thomas Tuchel's England squad. His contract is coming to an end next summer, and the Toughies are determined to keep him and will offer him a new deal. He'll leave Everton for Newcastle United, no doubt about it. In my humble opinion. But to be honest, I'll be lying to you if I said really I know more about this guy. 24 years of age, but he'd be another squad player, if anything.
Yeah, that's exactly where he'll be.
Yeah.
And is he going to leave? Is he going to leave Everton where he's kind of starring to go somewhere to be?
Oh, he
not starring.
Yeah, but Champions League, all of that matters when you never tasted that before. I mean, it's pretty. Players see that, but again, we got to keep doing it. We got to keep doing it for people. Let's move on from this though, because we do got to hear from Meredad and Godusi, as they spoke on Alexander Isak and they spoke on PSR issues. Let's take a listen and a watch of what they had to say about this particular topic.
When you saw the Alexander Isak situation unfold, what were your thoughts?
I'm just so, proud of Newcastle and how they're doing. And we love Alex and we know he's going to do really well at Liverpool. He's a great player. Liverpool have got an extraordinary player, but equally so, it's great to see the forwards doing so well and Newcastle performing really well.
You two appointed Eddie as well, so
yeah.
How proud are you of it? Okay, the league's not going as well at the moment, but they're back in the Champions League. You must be proud of him.
So proud of him, always. And all the lads and the girls, they've done so well. Seeing them, just do so well. And I know Bruno was in London with the Brazil squad this morning, so we were running around the park trying to see if we could see him.
Looking at Newcastle, you said that they could go on and win everything, but Do you feel it with PSR that something needs to change? It's restricting clubs like Newcastle that you were building.
No, I don't think it. I think the PSR rules are actually quite helpful, and they're there to help give fair competition, and we navigated them well, and and we welcome them.
They're there for a reason. So they will adapt and change in time, I'm sure, like everything does. But look, Newcastle's doing fantastically well. Obviously, they're having a bit of a hiccup now on the Premier League, but doing fantastically well in Champions League, and we're super proud of Eddie and the boys.
Ooh, and now Mighty wins quest, and he's already been talking to the architects, by the way, about getting Amanda Stavely statue outside St. James's Park. But are you going to take back those talks? Are you going to cancel those meetings after seeing what she had to say?
Not at all. Not at all. She'll always be there. But I did have to have a little titter when she said PSR's okay. We navigated them well. Well, did we? because she navigated them so well that we ended up having to sell Minty and Anderson. So in that respect, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek there, I think. But I will be eternally grateful for everything that Amanda did at the Toon. She got us into the situation of having to sell Anderson and Minty by pushing the boat out and buying Bruno, Botman, Trips, Byrne, Pope. That's how we got into that situation, and that's why we are where we are now. End of story.
But why can't you have just be an independent mind, have an independent mind, and just see, separate the high of Amanda Stavely? I know you're trying to do a statue for her outside St. James Park next to Jackie Milburn, because according to you, they accomplished the same thing. Why can't you look aside from that and say that she is rubbish? What
was it you said about putting words in other people's mouths and lying? You're lying through your teeth there. When have I ever said Amanda Stavely did more for Newcastle than Jackie Milburn?
Listen, I tell folks, I tell you this, man. Before a show when she left, actually, this fool sends me a Word document or something like that, and I'm like, what the heck is this, man? And it looked like goodbye words from a goodbye post from Amanda Stavely. I'm like, man, I'm not reading that crap. We gotta get on with news, man. We got stuff to do. And he's like, you got to read this because I can't. And I'm like, what the heck is going on, man? You can't read her goodbye post. What's the matter with you, man? Because he kept crying. He couldn't finish the post. Her goodbye note. Get on somewhere, man. She was another person that came here, made her money. It benefited Newcastle United tremendously, but she came here and made her money, and she's going now. And she doesn't want PSR.
That there is the difference between me and you as a Newcastle fan.
And no, because I don't give people just because you know who I appreciate, players like Coloccini who stayed on when they shouldn't have, actually, during the crap they went through, like Jonas Gutierrez, the players,
all these South American players.
No, I don't look at.
No, of course you don't. Except everyone you ever mention is South American.
I don't look at any of that. So I don't have the race and ethnicity has nothing to do in my mind whatsoever. Alan Shearer is one of the greatest. I appreciate him very much. When he came to the Toon, imagine that was players like that, that do that. And although players also are millionaires who do the stuff for money anyway. But again, those players will have that much of an impact on somebody. But a director came in, she did what she had to do, and actually, I'm the one that said after this rubbish window that we had.
But by the way, she actually engineered the whole PIF takeover against all odds. According to Simon Jordan,
no doubt about it.
PIF buying Newcastle United is deader than a dead duck in deadland.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Amanda made it happen.
Exactly. And I'm 100% with you. I do agree. She did it. It benefited her pocket in ways that she could never think of again.
I've said a million times, I don't care how much anybody makes out in Newcastle United. As long as we are seeing good football on the pitch.
That's why she did it. You can't be blinded by why she did it too.
I don't care if that's why she did it.
But
she did it.
No, she didn't. She didn't grow up. She didn't woke up one day and says, "You know what? That poor club, Newcastle United, up north. We got to save it, Meredith. Meredith, we have to do something, Meredith, about this wonderful club up there in the northeast." No, she didn't do that. She woke up and said, "Whoa, we can make some money. We can make a couple of quid of this one." So she got
interested. I'm not interested in motives, as I've said.
But
the fact is, she did it, and we went from relegation to Champions League in a first trophy in 70 years, and a lot of that is thanks to Amanda getting PIF in.
100%, because she got the sale done. Yeah, no doubt about it. And now she's gone, and life continues. But we're not getting a statue of her, not even a bust. She ain't do nothing.
Bit sexist there.
No, she might have a bust.
See, that's a pun, Chris.
She might have a bust, but she ain't gonna get one from Newcastle, to say the least. But you can separate all that, and listen, you can think of that in your own dreamy land. You can think that she deserves a statue and all that. That's fine, no doubt about it. But still, she's wrong about PSR. PSR doesn't help anything. But that might be helping her cause, because she's probably going to be involved in Tottenham and try to save that club too, and that benefits that club and any other club that she might be involved with. So maybe she's saying it because of that, but she's lying through her teeth, saying that that the PSR, there's nothing wrong with it, and we navigated through it well and all of that nonsense. She's wrong about that. You have to put that aside and admit that she's wrong with what she said about PSR, right?
No, I don't. I don't think there's anything. There's nothing intrinsically wrong with PSR. It's the way it's being implemented, which is the problem.
We've been listening to you whinge and cry about PSR and how wrong it is, and how it's held back, and all of a sudden, what's wrong with it?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Whilst at the same time, the likes of Chelsea and Man United have been able to go into debt for millions and not be checked at all.
And so, is there something wrong with it, or there isn't?
There's something wrong in the way PSR, profit and sustainability. That's the name. Sustainability is the key word. The object of the exercise is to prevent teams overspending beyond their means and ending up going bust, like Portsmouth did, for example.
So there is something wrong with it. Okay.
They don't want teams to go bust. The way to prevent teams going bust is to prevent them borrowing.
So again, my question is there something wrong with PSR? You said no. So there is something wrong with PSR.
The way it's currently implemented, yes. I don't think there's anything wrong with preventing a club spending more than they can afford.
So what she said was wrong.
Right.
So what she said was wrong.
But in the case of PIF and Newcastle, for example, PIF would quite happily have parachuted £1 million in, £1 billion in, no loans, no nothing. There's £1 billion, go and buy a football team. And they couldn't do that. They were prevented from doing that. That's my problem with it. Because if they put the that's £1 billion they can't get back. That belongs to the club. They are putting it in, and it belongs to the club.
So again, when she was asked if there's anything wrong with PSR holding Newcastle back, she said no, there isn't anything wrong with it. So she's wrong about that.
That wasn't the question she was asked. She was never asked, was there a problem with PSR holding Newcastle back?
She did, yeah, that was the question.
I agree with PSR. I agree we should be preventing clubs doing a Leeds, for example, and overspending, hoping they're going to get something that they end up not getting, and end up in that much debt that they've then got to sell all of their players, and they end up getting relegated and floundering in the Championship for season after season to eventually catch back up again. You should only be able to spend what you've got in the bank. Now, at the minute, they're saying all you can have in the bank is what you earn with our approved deals. So, for example, we couldn't have had Aramco coming in and sponsoring the shirt for £1 billion. The way Man City have got Puma coming in for 100 million a year. They wouldn't let us do that. But they allow Man United to go, they are now £1.5 billion in debt now.
So there's a lot wrong with PSR then. So I'm just trying to get to that point. I'm just trying to get to that because you said there's nothing wrong with
the
it.
way it's being implemented is wrong.
So there's something wrong with PSR then, right? There is.
There's nothing wrong with having a policy to prevent teams going bust.
Well, that policy.
There's a problem with the way the Premier League are implementing it.
Yeah, the policy isn't even doing that because nothing. There's rumors. This thing is, by the way, so outdated. Is incredible. The accounts, the numbers are still in place for what the league was 10, 15 years ago, and numbers now are so inflated beyond belief. So that in itself, that should have been there should be a rule in there to implement something where the figures are updated every year because inflation is clearly a thing.
And football inflation in particular, in terms of players' wages and transfer fees.
But, she's saying that there's nothing wrong. It's rubbish. Gavin Fuller says she must not have been watching us anyway, saying that we are playing fantastic. Exactly. Well, there you go. Well, listen, I wouldn't put it bad. She ain't bothered, man. She's not. And listen, Amanda, she is one of the most astute persons that I could really ever seen in football-related person, like business savvy and very, very. She's gonna get her part, and you can tell who wears the pants in the relationship, by the way. She's got them pants very well put on between her and Amanda and Murda Guduzi. But she does all the talking. The question is for two of them, and she just keeps talking and going on and going on. Let me tell you something. I tell you what, man, we already know.
I tell you what,
we already know the way that horse
kill.
We already know the way that horse gallops. We can already tell, man. She's listen, she deserves every praise for getting the takeover to happen. But now it doesn't fit her narrative to talk about PSR. It doesn't. She knows where she's going next. She knows more than anybody else. And the win, he's gonna be upset about that. And as soon as she goes to Tottenham and any other club, he's gonna be quite upset and probably miss a whole week because he's gonna be stabbed in the back. But he'll get over it. By the way, I told you that the Germany shirt reminded me of something. Win didn't have a clue because he really doesn't know any football outside of Newcastle. But and I knew that shirt brought me back to look at this. And by the way, did you know that Nick Voltemata is Volaire's son? Look at that, man. They look just alike, just the same. And that's the shirt right there. Proper German shirt, by the way, from back in the day. What do you think of that, man? Looking good, isn't it? Proper German. You're a German guy. Anything that goes against the grain, this guy is for. He's English, but he loves Germany. He speaks German and everything. So it's insane, man. Churchill must be rolling over in his grave. You rooting for Germany to win against Luxembourg, but it is what it is. But yeah, there you go. Voltemata. Isn't crazy, man. Was Voller a striker? I'd be lying to you if I said
Yeah.
Oh wow, there you go. Interesting. Bringing back the style, Germania, and with Voltemata. So there you go, folks. It is midday already in the UK, ladies and gents. What's the weather outside Newcastle right now? Midday on a Monday.
It's not bad at all. Nice and sunny.
It's a bit sunny. It's sun out there. You got your clothes hanging?
No, I haven't done any washing this morning.
Man, that's criminal though. Having to hang your clothes up. Come on, man. This is gonna takes ages for it to dry, man. Just put them in the dryer, man. Stop being old school.
No, that's being. Just get them out on the line, man. Get some fresh air in them and do it naturally.
It smells weird, man. The clothes smells weird when you leave it out in the washing line. Yeah, it doesn't smell soapy. Yes, it smells proper.
It smells natural, instead of soapy.
Well, you wanted it to smell soapy. By the way, Win, you say Zidane. When I said that Zidane, we should go get Zidane. You said he's rubbish and nobody, nobody cares about anything like that. That I'm starstruck and all of that. Well, this is Rudiger, by the way, begging and of Zidane to just look at him and just look at his way. Look at that. Just, sir, can you look at me, please, sir? Oh, there you go, man. How you doing, man? I grew up watching you, man. Look at that. Look, unbelievable, man. Just begging for attention from Zidane. If somebody like Zidane came to Newcastle, I mean, it'd be, Newcastle would be talked about week in and week out. I mean, it would be, and Zidane can, call anybody. By the way, this was the NFL's debut in Spain. Because football, they're supposed to go back and forth, You bring soccer to America, and we bring American football to Europe. And this was the NFL going to Spain there. And with Florentino Perez and everything, Zidane can call Rudiger right now, for example. Just Rudiger, one of the best center backs in the world, and just say, hey, man, you fancy coming on the Toon? We'll get you sorted. No worry, man. We gathering players. I'm talking to other proper top notch players. We got this and that going on. So you want to come on? Hey, man, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. You look at Rudiger's face, man. Look at Rudiger's face. When he gives him the phone call, Rudiger will be crawling back to England, man. So just letting you know.
I rest my case. You are just totally starstruck.
No, it ain't about being starstruck. It's about the facts. The facts. You know what I mean? This guy can pick up the phone line and call anybody he wants in the world. Anybody. Do you understand what that means, man? Any footballer in the world can call Zinedine Zidane and they'll pick up the phone and think about it. Can you believe that? We have never actually had that before. Imagine if you have that going in your favor. If you have so much financial difficulties to sign every top player, that you can have a manager at least that players will answer to and might be persuaded to come because of him. You don't think that's positive? Yes or no?
I don't think that having a manager who can bring names in will supersede how much you can pay them compared to how much they can get elsewhere.
No, if they come, they come.
There's nobody going to come play for Zidane for 50K a week less than they can get somewhere else.
Some would. I would think that some would.
Yeah, there you go. That's where we disagree. You say some would, I say they wouldn't.
Some would be persuaded to. But that's better.
Certainly not the type of players you would want.
And he's
I don't want just a starstruck player coming to play for Zidane.
He'll play you you want to have to play for the manager. And everything he tells you, you got to believe in him. So, but we got Eddie Howe now. He ain't calling. He'll call Rudiger and be like, "What the heck? Can I talk to Rudiger real quick?" Now, who's that? Eddie Howe from where? He's from Newcastle. He's a manager. Eddie Howe nephew has more pull than that. Well, Corey, listen, great breakfast show, but you can tell he's knackered. He ain't got a clue. But I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Listen, it might help.
It was a breakfast show for us. It was a supper show for the boys.
Yeah, it was that for them. But any other news? We got a few minutes left, 15 minutes left on this show. Thank you very much, all of you out there, for supporting the show, supporting the channel. Don't forget that later on tonight at what time would it be? 7:30 p.m. UK, the early night shows with early night show with Gary Wynn and Boki at 7:30, and then me and Wynn and Roy Caviani on the late night show. So stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to discuss and we might have guests as well. The regular lads come on from time to time, so stay tuned for that. Let me see here because I saw the ballots are open so ballot emails have been sent for our game against Burnley. So stay tuned for that if you go into the game. If you can already start getting those tickets. I think by last week you could have started. So now maybe already. That's at Burnley, right? Or is that home?
We'll play Burnley at home.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can start getting those tickets as soon as possible.
It wouldn't be a ballot if it was away.
By the way, Roy told me this, and I didn't know. So if this is preventing you from doing this, please reconsider. Because Mighty Wayne likes to defame me from just to be right. He told me that I'm a paying member of Newcastle United, which I'm not. But he told me I was because he transferred a ticket to me. But that was a lie. I wasn't a paying member. I just have an account number with him. But as I was looking, and Roy told me that they are MAG member. He's a MAG member plus or whatever the highest tier was. And I said, "Damn, but you pay 40 something quid a month on that." And he said, "No, it's per year. It's per year." And I thought, what the? I thought the max member was a month, 40 something quid a month, like 49 or something.
No,
that's criminal for the perks that you get, man. And he said, "No, it's a year." So I came to the light, and I admit that I was wrong because I did tell folks, I wouldn't get that membership because the perks are not worth. And now, with all due respect, now I believe the perks are way too much, and the fact that you can even be put in the ballot to get a ticket is people shouldn't be complaining of if they can't get a ticket. Because really, what's 47 divided by 12 months? Well, you could probably divide it by the amount of months that the league is on, to be fair. So what would it be? 47 divided by 12 months. That's 3.9 pounds.
That's $5 a month.
That's 3.9 a month. Did you say 5?
As I said, that was at the open house thing that they had at St James's Park last week that I attended. They had that was one of the big sort of bugbears amongst every table that was discussing them, was saying that with the ballot, if you win a ballot, if you win a ticket, then members who've entered ballots and haven't had it, because it was all anecdotal, of course. I know somebody who's got 7 tickets for games last season in the ballot, and I know other people that didn't get one, even though they all applied for every ticket. Some people were getting 6 or 7, and some were getting none. And they were saying that's wrong, that they should get, like, if there was 6 of them, they should get 1 each.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. No, they have a right to complain that you should implement an algorithm that, in my opinion, that tells you that unless, and this is unfair because you probably only get 1 ticket a year, unless all members are satisfied, you shouldn't get another ticket, which that would probably put you up like a few seasons, to be honest, to get another ticket, which is criminal. But again, everybody should.
Well, the main counter argument of that was that people apply for tickets which they know they can attend, because certain matches for work or whatever, they wouldn't be able to attend, so they didn't apply for those ones.
Yeah, and by the way, we got a notification now that that's interesting. Newcastle United. Well, first of all, Newcastle are saying that a MAG member ballot for our home clash with Chelsea on December the 20th is now open, so you can actually try to get your ticket for that if you haven't already. But the replies for the post of Newcastle's post on X are limited, and the club has basically only people that they follow can reply to these comments. People usually do this when they face criticism and they face, harsh criticism. Online can be, you can actually insult people and they don't even know who you are. But the club choosing to do this is kind of weird anyway. That's on their last post. So that's weird. The club facing the music now. When you're talking about nobody pays attention to online fans, well, let me tell you something. Newcastle United limited the amount of people that can reply to them. Basically, the accounts that they follow, which are only 103 accounts. So and those are probably just players and all of that stuff. So they're not going to reply to.
Sorry, go through that. I wasn't even following what you were saying.
So listen. On their last post, you know how you can interact with people. Like if you post something, people can comment below and tell you, when you're a twat.
We're talking about Newcastle United's official X account.
Yes.
Right.
Their official X account doesn't allow replies no more. You can retweet it, you can like it, you can save it for later, but you cannot reply to it. You cannot interact with it. You cannot say nothing, basically. It's like us taking the chat away so nobody can comment. And people only do that. Accounts only do that when they're facing music and there's criticism and there's people that go, like you're not trying to hear that nonsense, basically. So I'm going to mute you.
Or when it's pointless because there's actually nobody reading those replies anyway.
And who cares? Nobody cares about none of that. Nobody cares about none of that. And Newcastle has never done that, by the way. Newcastle has never done that. Never. Not even for previous, any of the stuff that you're talking about, that any MAG member post or anything like that nobody pays attention, that they reply. And all of that is irrelevant because it's not like they get notifications. They let people have their say and have at it. The point is you're not seeing the main picture. And I know that online fans to you mean nothing, but the vast majority of people interact being online, even local fans. So stop acting like people in Newcastle don't have social media. So the fact that they have done that is a little bit eye-opening. Because now they might be hearing some music. They might be like, oh, man, we can't have that. Now, that nonsense. It's a little bit odd. This is the only post they've done that. So we'll see if they continue with it. But there you go. Interesting. There you go. See right there, Kevin Bell. The official club has been posted. They say the ballot is open for Chelsea, and they restricted comments so nobody can reply, basically to stop people moaning about the ballot system. That could be as well about the ballot system. But then you are censoring.
I like what Lawrence is saying. As I've said before, Chris, Wynn ruins the channel with his utter nonsense and abuse of anyone who doesn't agree with his point of view, especially involving Howe. Well, thanks for that, Lawrence.
Well, the thing about the channel is we're not like NUFC. We don't censor people.
We don't censor anybody.
You can have your say. You can have a go at anybody if you want to. So that's that. But NUFC, man, censoring folks, that ain't good, man. That is not good. That's the marks of a communist world when you start censoring folks. But it is what it is. But my point was just
if anything, it's counterproductive, isn't it? Why not just just don't read them?
Well, they don't. I mean, it's not like they're looking at every comment.
I don't believe for 1 second that they will read them.
No, they don't. But the fact that they're going out and be like True Geordie is doing that now as well, but it's a personal account. He maybe doesn't want to, see the heat or coming to him or whatever for whatever reason. So he's done that. And other people do that, like when you definitely need to mute your replies on your X account because, man, you'll have some. They're gonna tell you off on next, man.
I never even look at it.
I'll show you how to mute them, man, so you don't have to deal with that stuff. But my point was on the membership.
I'll leave all that nonsense up to you, boys.
The Max Member Plus, in my opinion, now got really good products for £5 a month, which I'll become a member now. But you talk about 47 quid. I mean, a month. That I thought that was criminal, but now realizing it's just a year. Now how the tables have turned. I mean, because I don't. I mean, you're talking about a chance to get a ticket for £5 a month. I'll be all for that. And then on top of that, of course, you get access to home tickets and all that stuff. But you get exclusive retail discounts through the season. You get exclusive first access to selected retail ranges. What is that, by the way?
Well, these are the special edition.
Oh yeah, the ones, yeah.
And there was a lot of criticism about that, by the way, at that meeting, because the members had been going into the club shop expecting to be able to get 10% discount or whatever on what they bought at the club shop.
Yeah,
And I said, oh, no. That's only on certain days, about 12 days a year.
Yeah.
And it's only on certain products. So it's not like you're getting a carte blanche 10% discount or 5% discount, whatever it is.
You also get priority ticket window for St. James's Park events, 10% discount off drinks and 15% off food at Shearer's Bar on non-match days. I don't know who's going to that on non-match days, but anyway, but some people will. 25% stadium tour discount, 25% off food and beverage on match day for first 30 minutes after gates open, and you get exclusive content including access full to match replays, free access to 2 stream preseason friendlies. You get the preseason. I think I paid like 30-something quid for all the whole preseason.
Yeah,
and
I did.
I could have just paid for this, and I get all kinds of other perks. And so now I'm advocating for people to get your membership.
Become a member.
Become a member now on the end. And you listen, you support it. Think about it, man. If it's 5 quid, it's not even 5 to be honest, but if it's 5 times, how many members could we have? 150,000 members. And, just to put a number there, that's 750,000 a month times 12 months. That's 9 million a year on just memberships like that. I mean, yeah, and that's just on 150,000. So, I'm just saying, man, you get more. By the way, you get an opportunity. You don't get an opportunity to be a mascot. That's for little barons. But there you go, man. Look, I'll be a member now, and when I get a chance, I'll make all my kids members. And then and listen, that's somebody that lives in America for no reason, but I'll do it because you never know. You'll never know, man. You'll never know where life takes you. Look, Mighty Win hates online fans, but he's doing online things. So imagine that.
Be really interesting. You become a member and you apply for the Chelsea ballot,
and then I get a ticket. Oh,
and you get a ticket.
But and I've said this before. Even if I get a season ticket, which I would jump on in a heartbeat, I would give it away. Every ticket that I have that I can't go to, as much as I can, I would give it away to local fans. I would, and I've said that before. And I maintain. I would give it away to them. So, can you if you win a ticket on the ballot, can you transfer it to somebody else, or do you have to just give it back to the club?
Back to the club, I'm pretty sure. I couldn't comment definitively on that, but I think if you win it in the ballot, you've got to use it, surely.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't be applying for it.
Well, what if I got sick? Again, you always with this extremist narrative. What if you get sick? What if you have an accident? What if you got wait, man? Is there any opportunity?
Well, you've got you have up to 2 hours before kickoff.
I need to
do any transfers that you need.
We will get Betsy on the membership club as well. Knee by the man. She couldn't tell clear from you know what, but she'll be there. And but as far as football is concerned, my wife is a lovely wife. As far as football is concerned, my phone won't let me join, Chris. But first, you need to join the NUFC Talk membership, and then we can talk. And then I'll show you how to join Newcastle. But let me see here, because I had a lovely comment, wonderful, warming, welcoming comment from Randall Nichols. Says, Chris, who hurt you? Seriously, why are you always so negative? I would swear you're not a Newcastle supporter, blowing everything out of proportion. Why did we do? They talk about me and Wynn's banter. That just happens. Because he defames people and he lies. But so I'm here to protect all Newcastle fans and protect you as well, Randall. You might not vote for me, but I'm here to protect you as well, brother, and protect your right for freedom of speech as far as Newcastle United things is concerned. I'll protect you. I will work harder for you, Randall. I will work harder for you. Isn't that what politicians say? I'm trying to just repeat. But listen, me and Wynn have a great banter, and we'll be back again tomorrow at this time. But no, actually, we'll be back again tonight, late night show with Roy Caviani and whoever else jumps on as far as the guest is concerned, the collaborators. We'll be back again from 7:30 p.m. So join us on the early night show with Gary and the lads, Boki and Wynn, and the late night show right after that. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. It's
And
been
thank
lovely.
thank you, Corey, thank you, Gavin, and thank you, Boogie, for your super chats.
Thank you very much, all of you out there. And join in the banter. What about her, Chris?
Howie, the lads.
Let's get on with it. Chris, the William Wallace of YouTube. I don't know who William Wallace is. But
Scottish Braveheart. Did that say Braveheart, Mel Gibson?
That's what I'm on about this channel. There you go. Thank you very much, Gavin. Thank you, all of you.
See you later, folks.